Back in 1981, the author of the famous novel The Lovely Bones was raped in a park near the campus of Syracuse University. After being accused of the assault, a Black Marine Corps veteran spent decades being labeled as a sex offender, only to be found innocent in 2021. This is the story of the wrongful conviction of Anthony Broadwater on this episode of Small Town Horrors. The morning of May 8, 1981, the nurses at Cruz Irving Memorial Hospital received an 18-year-old rape victim with bruises on her face, a bump on the back of her head, hair tousled with leaves, and abrasions all over her body. She was identified as Alice Sebold. She said she was walking to her dorm when she was grabbed from behind and dragged by her hair into a tunnel where she was threatened with a knife. She didn't offer many details about her assailant besides him being muscular and recalled certain features of his face. It wasn't until 5 months later that Sebold came across 20-year-old Anthony Broadwater outside a restaurant and claimed he said to her, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" Sebold ran to the police to report him as the man who raped her. Broadwater was arrested and placed in a lineup for Sebold to identify. At first, she chose another man, but when she testified in court, she picked out Broadwater again. Based on her testimony alone and an unreliable pubic hair sample, Broadwater was quickly tried and convicted of first-degree rape. He spent 16 years in prison, and by the time he was released, Sebold's memoir, Lucky, had been published, detailing the horrifying encounter. Though some details weren't accurate, including the fact he never spoke to Sebold that day outside the restaurant. He was speaking to an officer he remembered from his youth, and Sebold walked past during the interaction. Alas, Broadwater was registered as a sex offender, and his image was turned into that of a supervillain. However, it was the film adaptation of Sebold's 2002 novel, The Lovely Bones, and probably Stanley Tucci's frighteningly stellar performance as a rapist that prompted Broadwater to try and clear his name. His attorneys, along with the Onondaga County District Attorney, filed a motion to vacate his conviction, noting the racial bias implications and junk evidence used in the case. By 2021, State Supreme Court Justice Gordon J. Cuffey overturned his conviction and freed him from being registered as a sex offender. In response, Sebold posted a public apology, saying she unwittingly contributed to the system that sent an innocent man to jail. This year, the now 62-year-old filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the prosecutor and police officer who worked to find him guilty and was awarded $5.5 million in settlement.
You got to have the perseverance, and you got to always never give up.
Tune in next weekend to see what small town horror you visit next at theroot.com.